Hey everybody, this is September the 19th, 2021. I'm out here under my favorite tree. I wanted to get on today because I had something that the Lord's laid on my heart that I feel like I need to share with y'all. It's like for the past couple of weeks it's like I'm seeing, so clearly. I'm seeing, what's actually taking place here on the planet. And it's like God's given me a vision of it, and like a big movie screen, like on my wall, I can see everything playing out. I mean, like the world's divided, we got half that are awakened, half that are not awakened. And I see the awakened ones they're kind of like behind the veil, and they're like, they're already awakened, and they're like moving into new earth, and they're in the process of ascension now, and they're moving into new earth, and we're in new earth now, okay? But things are still happening. Like we're still seeing the crumbling away of 3D, and we're kind of like, some of us are in 4D, some of us are, moving into 5D. I mean, we're in the new earth, but we're still seeing the collapse of 3D around us, and we're still experiencing it, even though we're aware of what's going on, and we're kind of standing behind the veil, in between the third and fourth dimension, and we're kind of just witnessing what's going on. And what I can see it's like I see the sleeping people in 3D. I see them like scammering around, in a panic, and they're trying to survive. They're trying to hold on to everything that they have created in their life. They're trying to keep their job. They're trying to keep their homes. They're trying to keep their marriages and their families together, and they're trying to keep their health. And everything seems to be crumbling down around them, and they're like panicking, and they're going through now what most of us have already been through. I know in my case, I lost everything back, and started back in 1999. I started losing things, but that's when I started my spiritual awakening, because I had just started suffering with Morgellons, and then my spiritual awakening, I feel like, started about the same time. But that's when things started disappearing in my life. That's when the chaos starts, because when things start falling away, you're like, if you're not fully awakened, you're like, what is going on, Lord? What have I done wrong? What have I done, or what have I done wrong, to make all this happen? And you get in a panic state, and you're like grasping at straws. You're trying to hold on to your life. You're trying to hold on to, like I said, your job and your home and your families, and you're trying to keep the family unit together. But then you see some of your friends drop away from you, and because when you start waking up, you start seeing, reality, and then once you start seeing the world different from everybody else, and you're having your own, a different opinions and your own views about the awakening and God and the universe. When you start sharing those, and some people may not be in alignment with that, and they might start dropping away from your life. In other words, some that used to be your good friends might start disappearing because they don't understand you. And the reason they don't understand you is because they're not in alignment with you. You have stepped into a different timeline, and you're not in alignment with that old 3D matrix anymore. You're moving out of that, and you're ascending, into the fifth dimension. So there's a division between those who are awakened and those who have not awakened yet. But there's a lot more now I see that are beginning to awaken as this whole, chaotic stage of events continues to play out on the world scene, as the pandemic and and all the chaos and all the the economic system and the government and everything that's going on right now. The people are waking up in masses, and so we're seeing more and more people beginning to take the red pill, so to speak, and really start seeing some of reality now. They're starting to see, oh my God, you never thought that the government would actually do this to their own people. I never thought that the government would actually kill their own people. I never thought that the government would ever plan to turn us into a communist country. I never thought this would ever happen in America. And they have to go through it, Sometimes people have to go through this suffering in order for them to wake up and see what's really happening around them. And so that's what I'm seeing happen right now on the world stage. We got the awakened ones who are already on the other side of the veil, but they're still seeing and they're still experiencing, what's going on in 3D, because we haven't quite made that, we haven't quite fully ascended. So we're still experiencing what's going on in 3D, 4D, and 5D. So, but those in 3D who have not started to move on the other side yet are still immersed in their old status quo 3D lives, and they're trying to make it work out. In other words, they're trying to hold on to that life that they have created in 3D because that's the only life they've ever known. And I've been there, and I know y'all been there. That's the only life you've ever known. You never knew there was anything else out there, and this is what you have worked for all your life and struggled for and strived for, and this is where all your time and your money is invested, and you want to hold on to it. Yes, I get it. I was the same way. But I found out the more you try to hold on to your life, the faster you're going to lose it. And it's worse, the harder it's going to be on you. You're gonna, if you try to hold on to it without surrendering and just letting it go, then you're going to suffer not only physically but mentally and emotionally too. You're going to be in a state where you're going to reach a place of hopelessness and helplessness, and you may have to hit rock bottom, and you may have to stay there for a while before you come back up. I'm talking about the dark night of the soul, because I went through several of these after losing everything and then being isolated for 5 or 6 years. That's going through the dark night of the soul, and that's where you really dive in and do your inner work, your soul searching, and that's when you really dive in and meet God. Okay, this is happening to a lot of people right now, and I believe that most of them are being forced into it. Some people wake up easier and they already have a connection with God, and it's not that difficult for them, But if you're somebody like I was, who was so immersed in the world and so immersed in your life and your job and everything and your family, and you had a connection with God, but you really, really, really didn't have that soul connection that you needed, And so then you begin your spiritual awakening, and that's when you make that connection, and then things start unfolding for you. It's painful because there's so much destruction involved. There's so much crumbing away of your life. So what I'm seeing is the awakened ones, and like I said, most of them have already been through these losses. Most of them have already lost their jobs, their homes, their families, their friends. Some of them lost their health, and they're standing back, and they're in the ascension process, and they're watching the others out here on the other side in the 3D, just scrambling and trying to put the pieces back together. Okay, that's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to put the pieces of their life back together. They're trying to get past this pandemic. They're trying to get past all of this chaos. They're trying to get past all of this, these closures. They're trying to get past everything that has happened, that the government has done to us, and they're trying to pick up the pieces of their life, and they're trying to put things back together and get back to normal. But what they don't realize is that's not going to happen. We are moving into a new earth. Planet Earth is ascending into a new earth, a new world, and the old one has to crumble away in order for that to happen. So for those people who don't know this yet and are not aware that they're going to have to give it all up, it's going to be really, really, really tough times for them. And we really need to pray hard for them. And we need to, those who have already been through it, the awakened ones, we need to really seek God on how we can help these people. Because some of them are going to lose it, okay? Some of them are going to be so lost and so devastated that some of them are going to take their lives, okay? A lot of people do this. But we can make a difference if we put ourselves out there and we try to reach out to these people and help them and try to make them understand or help them understand what's really happening in the world, okay? Yes, we got Satan working against us and fighting us and trying to stop us, and he's pulling out every weapon he's got right now. I know he is in my case, and trying to prevent me from ascending. But I'm strong, and I intend to keep trucking. I intend to keep moving forward because I have that connection with Christ within me, and I have God on my side. And God's already promised me that we've already won this battle. So this is just to put out there what I see happening. You know, I see it so clearly now. I see it. It's like the whole wall is just it's filled with what the world's seeing and what's happening. And it's sad because we're watching the crumbling away of America. We're watching it fall away before our very eyes. And we're watching people die. We're watching people lose everything. But it's important to remember that there is a new earth that's already been established here, that's already been formed, okay? A new earth, a new dimension, and it's just waiting for us to step into it. So if you know this, if you know that there's a new world waiting for you and a new 5D earth waiting for you, then it will be a whole lot easier for you to allow the things in your life to disappear and to crumble away. And as long as you have that assurance inside and you have that connection within your heart center with God within you, and you know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be tough. You might get sick. You might be sick, and you might have all kind of chaos in your family. You might lose family members. You might struggle with other things, friendships. But if you know ahead of time that it's all part of the process, it's all part of the purification process, because God has to remove everything that is not in alignment with His Spirit, okay? God has to remove everything that does not align, that does not fit, okay? It has to go. And then once everything is removed and we step into 5D, then we can make a stronger connection with Christ within us, and then we can allow God to start letting our lives here in the new earth unfold the way they're supposed to. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown of what I see happening, and I hope this helps somebody understand a little bit more about what's actually taking place. So if you're going through a hard time and you're struggling and you're losing a lot of things right now, you're losing family members to death, or you're losing your health. So many people are getting sick and losing their health. Or if you're losing your job, you're losing your home, you're losing your friends, your family members are leaving you. Just know, okay? Please know this is part of the process. This is part of the process of ascension. This is part of the process of moving into the new earth. Okay? It's not all doom and gloom, okay? Yes, it is doom and gloom when you're going through it, because it's tough, and you have to struggle through it. You have to fight it out. You have to stay strong, and you have to persevere. That's why so many don't make it, because they don't have the strength, and they don't have the strength to make it through. And they're so sick and depressed and down that they don't want to continue. But for those who do have the strength and who have the awakened Christ within them, they can make it. They can make it because they're not alone, and they know what to look forward to. They know what they have to look forward to on the other side. So that's all I want to say today, folks. I love you guys, and I hope this helps somebody. Thanks.